Sup, everybody? Early Stoppage MMA here, and today we're going to be going through the upcoming fight night in Kansas City. Um, yeah, we've been out for a little bit, but we're back. Sorry about our absence. Just so everybody knows, for the record, we both did pretty good on the fight card last week, but we never put it out there, so you're just going to have to trust us a little bit. So jumping into this, are you ready?
I'm good. I'm good to go. Let's do it.
Let's freaking do this. All right, starting out with the first bout on the main card, it's Ikram Aliskerov versus Andre Muniz. Who do you got in this one?
I'm taking Ikram. I think I'm not gonna overthink it. He got kind of thrown to the wolves against Whitaker in his last fight,
Yeah,
which I don't think anybody would want to fight Whitaker on short notice.
no,
And especially a guy who has not been proven to that level.
yeah,
And I really think that he is good, and I think that he is good enough to eventually fight guys in that top five. But he needs the time to, you know.
Wow, you think he's top five bound, huh?
No. I think it's possible.
Okay,
More possible than Andres Muniz.
yeah, I agree. I would also pick Ikram in this fight. I think Ikram is really good. I think Robert Whitaker is that good, honestly.
Yeah, no,
I
he is.
do.
He is.
So I that's not a bad loss to have at all.
No.
Especially on short notice, no one's gonna blame him. It's not gonna hurt his legacy. I think I see Ikram as being like a top 15 guy in the
Yeah,
rankings. I don't know if he goes much further than that, honestly, but I do think he's really good. So I'm also picking Ikram pretty enthusiastically in this one. I think Andre
yeah. I
Muniz
think
is at one point showed a lot of promise, but this is also not a great matchup for him. So
I think other. I mean, putting the main event and the co-main event away, this is probably the one I'm the most confident
yeah, I think I would agree.
in. And on the main card for sure.
Yeah. You want to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Let's
So,
do it.
Reddy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby.
Yeah, I love this fight.
This is a sick fight. This is a very good fight. And I am going to completely biasly pick. I was going back and forth on this. I'm going to 100% bias pick Randy Brown just because I like him better.
Yeah.
I really have nothing to go off of here. This is zero knowledge going into this other than I like Randy Brown more than Nicholas Delby.
Yeah, this is hard for me because I think Randy Brown is so good. Like I think Randy Brown is like top 15 rankings worthy. Like I think he could
Sure.
totally get there, and he's had opportunities where he's been close. Um, and like, but also Nicholas Dalby looked so good. He was on a run. And he's going to the distance, or not going the distance, I guess. But he's having these crazy fights with really good competition as well. It's like these two are in the same position where like they are just not good enough to like make the rankings when it counts, but they're beating
That's true.
a ton of people below them in really competitive fights. I really like Nicholas Dalby, but he's just come up. I think he's come up more short recently than Randy Brown has. So I'm leaning Randy Brown, and that's what I'm going to go with for now. But I think Nicholas Dalby is honestly not a terrible underdog to pick. If that
No,
was
that's why I said this is a very close fight and a very. This could be a sick fight. This could be fight of the night for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I
And
think this has fight of the night written on it potentially.
that's why I said I couldn't pick like going off of like any kind of MMA knowledge
Yeah,
here. I
it's
had
just
to
bias.
completely bias pick Randy Brown.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, this fight's gonna rule.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be sick.
I'm very excited for this one. I don't really have much more to say, honestly.
No, I mean this is a fight that everyone should watch.
Yeah, this
This
seems
is
like it's gonna be a dogging it out fight. You know,
Yeah, it does. It does.
it's gonna be great. It's gonna be real good. Yeah. So moving on to I think this is the featured bout. Oh
Two,
no, not quite.
yeah.
Michelle Pereira versus Abus Magomedov.
Oh boy.
What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
What do I think
Yeah,
it is?
what's your brain going towards here?
Ah,
What's going
I
on in that
want
noggin?
Pereira. I want Pereira to win. I do,
Yeah.
but I don't think he will.
Really? You're going Abus?
I'm gonna go Abus. Yeah, Abus is. I can't say that he's impressed me, but Michelle Pereira is a maniac. So I just don't trust Michelle Pereira enough to pick him because he might do something crazy and get DQ'd or something.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many options with this guy.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm picking safe, and I'm picking Abus Magomed.
This is crazy. I feel like this is one of the first times we've been on the same page of like this seems like the kind of fight where we would pick differently. But I'm also picking Abus because I think
Are you?
yeah, I think Abus is actually good. I think that he's gotten a ton of shit because he had a not great fight against Gabriel Bonfim. But
Yep.
I also Bonfim is pretty good. So like not the end of the world.
All right.
And then he had that fight with Strickland where he gassed out, but he hasn't really gassed out since then.
That's
And
true.
he's looked pretty good. My only worry in picking him is that the path to victory against Pereira, because he's so wild and crazy. Like Pereira could totally win this by just like
Of
doing a
course.
backflip onto his jaw and
He could
killing him.
also get DQ'd
100%.
for that same reason. So that's why I'm
Exactly.
like, okay,
Yeah.
is the risk worth the reward in here for me picking him? That's
Yeah.
funny though. I thought for sure you were going to pick Pereira.
I know.
thought you were going to be completely different here.
I thought you were gonna pick Pereira. That's crazy. But no, I think Abus. My thing is, I do think Abus will try to wrestle him because I
Yeah.
think Hernandez showed that that's kind of what you want to do. It's just
Yeah.
it's hard because and Abus is really big, where I think the struggles that Hernandez had with Pereira, which there weren't very many, were that Pereira is so fucking strong. He's so strong, you know?
No.
I don't think Abus is gonna have nearly as much trouble with that as like Hernandez did. Um and so like I think Abus is gonna pull it off.
That's fair.
I think he's gonna do it. He's looked good and Pereira is honestly good. But I also
Yeah.
don't think I think he has a lot of holes in his game, and Abu seems like the kind of dude who could take advantage of that.
That's kind of how you have to beat this guy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's going to just dance all over the octagon and
Yeah.
win by some crazy, like weird way.
Yeah.
This guy never wins and is regular. He's like the
Yeah.
opposite of Johnny Walker.
Dude, he is. That's so funny.
It's he's just a maniac.
Yeah.
He's just like a middleweight John Silva.
He is. I love it. I'm excited for this fight too. I think this one
That's a good fight.
it has
this
potential
is a
to be
very
good.
solid fight night. Like this is a very good fight night.
Yeah. This is gonna be great. I'm excited for this as well. So yeah, final pick. We're both going Abus.
That's crazy. I thought
I just now that we
we're-
both picked him, I feel like we're both gonna be wrong. I don't know how to explain that, but
probably true.
we're you know what
I
we're
feel
rolling with it.
like I feel like there might be a world here where we're gonna pick the same on these next 3 fights.
I think that's possible. I really do.
Okay.
Uh
So, featured fight:
Yeah.
Giga Chikadze versus David Onama.
oh yeah.
Where are you leaning here?
I'm leaning on Nama. I have not been
Really?
yeah, I haven't been super impressed with Chikadze recently, and he's been out and so inactive. And like granted, when he came back and he fought Arnold Allen, he gave Arnold
Yeah.
Allen some problems, but I think Arnold Allen won that fight pretty decisively. And so it's like, I just and also Giga's kind of old, isn't he? I feel like he's like 36. I could be making that up, but I don't know. He doesn't live up to the Georgian hype like the other guys do. And I think Onama's had some also question. I think this is kind of like for me these guys I haven't really been impressed with either of these dudes, but I also think Onama's got the momentum. He's kind of younger. This is his
Onama's
chance.
kind of been, yeah.
And it's a pretty good matchup for
Onama-
Onama, I think.
It really is. It is a good matchup for Onama, but I'm gonna break this. I'm picking Giga.
Damn.
Onama is been kind of inconsistent.
He
I feel
has.
like to
He
me.
has.
And Giga Chikadze is literally maybe the most inconsistent guy there is.
Yeah.
So I don't.
Of the two, I think
I-
it comes down to like of the two, I'm picking Onama to lock in, basically.
That would make sense. Yeah, I'm gonna stick Giga. I think that this is if there's a fight that Giga can win, it's against David Onama. And so I'm
Yeah,
I'm
that's
hoping
fair.
that is the way it goes.
It'd be fun. I mean, I'm interested to see it. This is one of those fights where on paper I'm kind of looking at it and I'm like, this could not be very good. Because I feel like it could
It's
just
definitely
be
not going to be good.
a
This is going to be a
point
super boring
fighting,
fight.
yeah, kind of or if it does go to the grappling, like
Really boring.
it's just gonna be a smudge fest. So yeah, it could be good, but this is one where I'm like, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
man. The next fight, though.
Yes.
This next fight, we may
Let me
possibly see some crimes committed.
yeah, let me take this one.
You have this one. I'm leading you into it here.
So in the co-main event, we have Anthony Smith, Lionheart, on his retirement fight against my goat, Zhang Mingyang.
Oh,
For
boy.
those longtime viewers, they will remember that I put Zhang Mingyang on our first video where we were talking about things we were excited to see basically for the year.
Yeah,
Zhang
that is
Mingyang
the truth.
is gonna fucking destroy Anthony Smith. It will be a bloodbath. I don't like genuinely skill, even just from a skill standpoint. I genuinely think Zhang Mingyang is better. You watch him fight;
Yeah.
he's so explosive. Like I don't know what Anthony Smith is gonna do to him. He's not gonna be able to hold him down. Because like I've seen some of Zhang Mingyang's shit on like Road to UFC and like some of his stuff on the regional scene, and the dude just explodes back to his feet. Like he doesn't get held down, and he's so fucking powerful.
Yeah. No, I think that there's an argument here that Zhang Mingyang is maybe the more skilled fighter. Like even if you took Anthony Smith in his prime,
Yeah,
like just like skill for skill,
yeah,
but I see zero route to victory for Anthony Smith in
I
this
don't
fight.
either, and it's so sad.
I
'Cause
don't
hate
I don't know
Anthony Smith.
how in the world, and unless if it's an issue or unless if it comes up where Zhang Mingyang lets Anthony Smith guillotine him like that one guy
Yeah,
that was supposed to be the truth and then has just fallen apart in every fight he's
Vitor
ever had.
Petrino.
Petrino, that's it. That guy was supposed to be the new
Yeah.
205 king,
I remember that.
and he has ruined his legacy already.
Mm-hmm.
And I see no way that Anthony Smith wins this fight.
No,
Like, I don't even know if he has a chance to knock out Zhang Mingyang,
Yeah,
which is nuts.
it is crazy because like I like Anthony Smith. Like he seems like a cool dude, and for his retirement fight, I wish they would have given him just some like unranked like light heavyweight.
I cannot believe that they did this.
I can't. When I saw it,
believe they gave him Zhang Mingyang.
I remember I messaged you immediately, and I was like, "They are trying to kill Anthony Smith.
They
Why
did,
would they
dude.
do this to him?"
The real question is, I feel like he might feel like he has something to prove after his last fight, and he had a lot of issues going into
Yeah.
that fight with Dominic Reyes,
Yeah.
and so he's like, all right, I'm gonna shut the world up, and dude, now he
Yeah.
just like killed himself pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, he does have a full camp, which is good. He's not a short notice fight like his last few. So, I mean, he's got that going for him, but I still just the age, the inconsistency, the heart is just not even quite there. He hasn't shown us that the heart is there. I
don't know if it's a heart thing. I just I'm even putting that to the side. Like all the heart, you know, all the
intangibles.
I just skill for skill.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a world he wins this
No,
fight.
I agree. I completely agree. I think Zhang Mingyang is a very skilled light heavyweight, one that, like of the caliber that we have not seen in quite a while because light heavyweight is so average right now. I think Zhang Mingyang has like all the tools. He just seems to be better. Like I really, it's not a Petrino situation. I don't feel like because when you watch him fight, like Petrino, everyone was excited, but I don't know if he looked quite
Maybe
amazing or like unstoppable, like people said. Zhang Mingyang genuinely looks unstoppable.
he
Like,
does. That is true. I will
walks
say the hype
through
coming
people.
into this fight. Yeah, the aura around Zhang Mingyang in this fight compared to the Petrino fight is a completely different thing. I think I have not seen a single person be like, "Oh, Anthony Smith can do it."
No. Every single person seems to be on the same boat.
And it would be insane. I don't know what the odds are to this fight, but it's got to be crazy.
It's
It
Zhang
should be
Mingyang is a
crazy.
minus 500 favorite. Anthony
Yeah,
Smith's a
okay.
plus 380 underdog.
Okay, that's actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I
was
also
going to say
thought it was
like
gonna be bigger.
650 Zhang Mingyang
Yeah.
minus 650. But
Well, it's still Anthony
Oh,
Smith, I
man.
guess.
I don't know, man. This is crazy. I cannot believe they did this to this guy.
No, me neither. Absurd.
He's done so much, and every time we talk about him, I always bring up the fact that like this guy could have been the champ if he would have just stayed down from the knee. He would have been the champion.
Yeah,
which
well,
is bananas.
I mean, he wouldn't have held on to it. He's so bad. Like,
He still would have had it though.
yeah, I guess that's true. All right,
man.
we got to leave
All
Anthony
right,
Smith
main event.
alone. He's retiring. He's a great guy. He's a legend of the sport, kinda. I guess.
His story when the dude broke into his house is one of my favorite interviews of all time.
True.
That was awesome.
True. Yeah.
But Main event. This is a little closer, we'll say. Ian Machado, Gary versus Carlos Prates.
Yeah.
Where I think we're both leaning. I'm just saying we're both leaning Gary.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty
We've
sure. On
we've
this.
talked about this.
We have talked about this. We've both leaning towards Gary,
Yeah.
and I think that is probably the common pick. I'm
Yeah.
sure the odds are favoring Gary.
Mm-hmm.
And you brought up an interesting point the other day in saying that you think Prates will look good. You think he will catch Ian
I
Gary?
I I don't
Are
know
you
if
still feeling this
I
one?
don't know if he'll look good. I don't think I'd go that far, but I do think like I could see in like round 1 or 2, like
Yeah.
near the end of the round, Carlos Prates like throws a 1-2 down the middle that
Mm.
hurts Ian Gary, um, and just kind of like Ian Gary goes down to his like knees or something, or shoots a panic takedown. He's a little wobbly, and then just holds Carlos Prates down for the end of the round and kind of survives. But outside of that one exchange where I can see Ian Gary getting dropped, I think he'll wisen up after it and not let that fucking happen again and have a better game plan. But I also think Ian Gary's just going to. I think it's going to be a borderline masterclass. I'm hesitant to
You
say
think
full
so?
on masterclass, but like I think he's gonna smoke him. I really do.
I respect that. I respect that pick. So I do see a world. I do think Carlos Prates hits hard. I really
Yeah.
do.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that he is a very good striker. And I could see if there is a world where Carlos Prates wins, I don't think he flatlines Gary. I don't think that's a thing.
No, I don't either.
But I could see him like, elbows or a big kick or knee, something like a very big strike that might hurt Gary and maybe mess up, like give him a bad cut
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And like in my head, I'm thinking if Prates is gonna win this, like he's gonna have to injure him and hurt him with like
Yeah.
a cut, and Gary will be kind of immobile a little bit,
Yeah.
like he won't be able to see everything. That is the world that I see for Carlos Prates to win, but it is a much more likely scenario where Ian Gary just masterclass him. I agree with you.
Yeah. I think.
I've been kind of giving you a little bit of grief
Yeah.
about this, but I do agree with you. There is a world, and it's a very likely scenario that Ian Gary just walks and dominates this fight.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because Carlos Prates is. I mean, Li Jing Liang coming off of the couch, after fucking like 2 years off.
Yep.
And Li Jing Liang is good, but he's never been amazing. So smoking him was
Yep.
like it was cool, but I don't, and it was impressive, but it wasn't like a game changer performance. I don't know. And then Neil Magny knocking out Neil Magny coming off a loss to Michael Morales, he just got knocked out by him as well, I think. Also in the stats, Neil Magny was ahead on strikes against Carlos
Yeah,
Prates.
but we talked about this the other day too. I think that is going to be a common occurrence
Yeah,
in
yeah, I agree.
Crawford's
Yeah,
career
because
because
he's
he's
hunting.
looking for that big shot.
Yeah, I agree
He's just trying to snipe.
for sure. And I know
And
that
so
that's a
I'm
thing.
not going to hold. Yeah, I'm not going to hold too much
Yeah.
into that.
The only problem is
Yeah.
I say that because I think that style will work against some people. I don't think it'll work against someone like Ian Gary. Ian
No,
Gary
I agree.
has proven that he's very good. Ian Gary has a pretty good chin, and he has a shorter reach. Like his arms are short for his size, but
Yeah.
it helps him in the clinch. It actually helps him in these like areas and kind of in the pocket a little bit. Ian Gary's wrestling is good. I people love to slander it. I don't get that at all. I think it's
Yeah,
very
it's weird.
solid. He's always getting people's back and almost getting a choke and just not quite getting it. And I think if it was anybody other than Ian Gary, people would be impressed. You know what I
That's
mean?
probably true. And
Um,
I wonder too if the MVP fight has something to do with that. Is because we all know how bad MVP is on the ground,
yeah,
and so we're like, oh, but he did it to MVP, and then he lost to Shavkat.
yeah.
Like
But I mean,
I could see that, but I agree with you.
he
I'm on your team, but let me get this.
I mean, he did his pretty good to nullify Shavkat's
No, he
grappling, all
did.
things
He
considered.
really
I
did.
mean,
He really did. But
also
I
Ian. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good. I was just gonna say to the extent of like being the grappler, the pedigree you're telling us that he is, right?
Yeah.
Like I see the argument where it's like, okay, but he did it to MVP and then like looked okay and look. I mean, you could even say he looked good against Shavkat.
Yeah, but I mean,
Um,
even from like if you watch the technique breakdown, like you can
sure.
see it's
No,
really good. I mean,
I once again, I agree with you. I'm just, there's guys out there who are gonna think how I'm
yeah,
thinking.
yeah, it's true. My final thing I'll say about this fight and why I'm picking Ian Gary too. Maybe the biggest reason is that
Yeah.
Ian Garry is kind of an enigma. He does well against southpaws. He almost does better against southpaws than he does orthodox fighters in a lot of cases.
It's a valid point. That's a very good point. I Man, yeah. Poor Anthony Smith. I don't really have much to say about the main event, man. I don't know. The main event, I just it's kind of one of those moments where I'm like, if Prates wins, that dude's gonna get a title shot, bro.
Yeah. Oh
This
yeah,
guy,
they will.
he is getting so much hype.
Yeah.
And
Which
it's possible.
I mean,
It's very possible.
it's an interesting situation too because it's a weird fight where like I'm pretty sure Ian Garry is just gonna walk through this dude pretty confidently and maybe get in trouble like one time in the fight, but like if Carlos Prates went in there and won, I also just wouldn't be surprised at all. I'd be like, oh yeah, okay.
I would be a little shocked, I'll be honest, but I would be happy. I mean, I like both these guys, to be honest. Like I like watching both these guys fight.
Yeah.
But if Prates pulled it off, I'd be like, wow,
Well,
holy shit.
something
What did we just see?
Yeah, something to think about with this fight too that I think is interesting and maybe we haven't thought about. I think Ian Garry's going to also get a lot of stock rising from this because Ian Garry in his last two fights has fought kind of boring fucking people, to be honest with you.
That's true.
Like
That's
the
it,
MVP,
well, yeah.
I know some people love MVP. I'm personally of the opinion that his fights are boring as shit. And like that fight for most people found it boring. And same thing it seemed like with the Shavkat fight because Shavkat wasn't just bullying the person that he was fighting with like no grappling. So
I still don't get the Shavkat hype.
I don't either.
I need to be That's for another day. But
It is. We'll make a video about that. And so yeah, I think Ian Garry in this fight is gonna be able to shine because I think this is gonna be a fun contest of like showing a lot of skill.
it'll be fun. I think I do
fun
think that
opponent.
he'll be able to kind of showcase more of what he has to offer. More so when the past two fights he's had a very obvious game plan.
Yeah.
Right? Like against MVP, you knew exactly how to beat MVP.
Yeah. I do think.
And then against Shavkat, you had to fight kind of defensively because you know exactly what Shavkat's trying to do.
Yeah.
But Carlos Prates, I see what you're saying though. Is Carlos Prates is going to open up a lot more opportunities for both of these guys in exchanges.
Oh
and
yeah.
all kinds of different things. So it's going to be fun.
I think Ian Garry will mix it up because I think Ian Garry's confident in striking, and I do think he should be because it is pretty good.
No,
yeah.
Fine.
But Carlos Prates' grappling has also been very suspect. Like he's been dominated by some pretty bad dudes on the ground, to be honest with you. Or pretty average guys.
Well,
and then just happens to get back to the feet and knock him out in like the next round.
Yeah.
So
is there a world too though then where I'll ask you this and then we can call it here.
Okay. Yeah.
So, who do you think is the better striker of the two?
Probably Prates.
Okay. I agree. But is there a world then where we just see Ian Garry go to just like immediately shoot takedowns and just try to hold him on the ground?
I could see it. Well, I think he's gonna mix it up. I really do.
You think?
Yeah, I think he'll have a pretty he'll have a very well-rounded performance, and I think people talk about that a lot. That's my guess, at least. But I do think it'll be more grappling heavy. I would imagine it'd probably be like a 70-30, 60-40 split, heavily favoring grappling.
Sure, that makes sense. Well, and that's how to beat Carlos Prates.
Yeah,
we haven't seen many guys. I mean, I don't think we've seen anybody beat him on the feet. At least in the UFC, he's undefeated in the UFC.
Yeah.
So
it's I'm excited.
It's gonna be good. This is a really good fight night.
Yeah, it's a great fight night.
I'm much more excited about this than Jamal Hill.
Yeah, I agree.
Mean, Jamal Hill Roundtree would have been fun.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more I really do think that Roundtree would have messed Jamal Hill.
I do too. So, but hey, that fight we'll get to do a video on that because it got rebooked.
We get the fight. I forgot about that. It did get rebooked, didn't it? Okay. Ignore
UFC
what
Baku.
I just said.
So yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody. We're glad to be back. We'll try not to miss anything coming up. We just had a busy time. Volka's the champ again. Really, let's fucking go. My life is healed.
Well, now I'm gonna get sad. The reason we took a break is because Leon lost.
It was kind of the case. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a little bit of the case, yeah. It was kind of like a little hiatus. I was still watching the fights, but I didn't want to talk about fights. I got sad.
Yeah, I was also very scared.
And Nick Parkin lost.
Yeah.
It's been a stressful last couple of weeks, but we're back onto it.
We're back on it.
A lot of good fights coming up. Bilal coming up. Sandhagen, Figueiredo is coming up.
Yep, we'll talk about those.
We get some good times.
Yeah. The 315 will be good. We've got some pretty average to not very good fight nights coming up in May. We may do predictions on those. Otherwise, we may go back and do some fun like themed videos because we haven't done one of those in a while. And then maybe we'll throw in a podcast somewhere.
Needs to happen.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Glad to be back. Have a great evening and enjoy the fights. Peace.